Last thing he did was lose. He was waging a brave battle, but at the end, I guess he got kind of cowardly was what happened. And then the bowel cancer, it got brave. You got to give it to the bowel cancer. You know, they were in a battle, and then what the And I'm pretty sure, I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure if the cancer dies, I mean, if you die, the cancer also dies at exactly the same time. So that, to me, is not a loss, that's a draw. That's a, you know what I mean?
Top story tonight comes from the O.J. Simpson civil trial, where this week it was revealed that in his first interview with police, Simpson had refused to take a lie detector test. His reason? It detects lies.
And there's Charles Woodson. How about that? Huh? What a season he had. Great, man. He became the first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. And congratulations, Charles. That is something that no one can ever take away from you. Unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case... all bets are off. Just a word of advice.
On Friday, the Juice officially endorsed Bill Clinton for president, adding, quote, "I'd like to help him any way I can." To which the president replied, "Well, there is one thing."
Look, this is just an informal chat. We were wondering what you were working on in your lab.
Well, I've invented a pill that gives worms to ex-girlfriends.
Right, and what's positive about that?
Well, it's a pill that gives worms to ex-girlfriends.
Well, could it also give worms to ex-boyfriends?
This is a drug for the world to give worms to ex-girlfriends.
Well, great. Thanks for stopping by.
You just don't get it here.
People don't like Globochem and its 2023 different products.
The perception is that this company is a monster.
A beast.
A cold, heartless, smelly behemoth.
Run by a greedy,
fat-headed fatty pants.
a fatso. Who do you think you are? This company cares. We were in the people business when you were in short pants. My great-great-great-grandfather started this company with one single rickety, leaky, handcrafted slave ship and a simple motto: people selling people to people. So don't tell me that I'm fat!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fantastic Comics Presents. This is our 85th episode. You can call it Believe It, because I was a little worried that we weren't going to be getting comics this week, at least on time. And it seems like everything's running according to plan. Woohoo! So that's the big news of the day. For those of you that are new here or are watching after the fact and are like, what is this? A show about comic books on YouTube? Well, it surely is, but this is a little bit different. We have our own theme song, and we're also a store. We are in Berkeley, California. My name is Yule. I run and own Fantastic Comics. We're open Wednesday through Sunday, 12 to 5 p.m., and we have a website. It's got back issues, like old ones that you can order. We're going to try and keep updating that, but some turnover has occurred in the store, and I am primarily the one and only person running things at Fantastic Comics. Oh my God! It's like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to do all these things. That's me. And that's what's going on in Fantastic Comics. But we're going to have new comics tomorrow, just like the song says. And if we don't have what you want and we can do that, we'll order it for you. So we talk about comics. I invite guests on from time to time. Last week it was me solo, but this week we have a good friend of mine, ATN. Well, without further delay, why don't we introduce him? Hey, Etienne, how's it going?
I don't want to be introduced. Kind of like I don't want to be interviewed.
I don't want. Well, you don't want to be interviewed.
No.
Okay.
I got nothing to say.
You got nothing to say?
I got no special information. That's for sure.
I possibly got the wrong person for this show. That is what you're telling me.
What's up, man?
Well, it's okay. I've got a lot of Norm Macdonald clips.
Those were.
I do this.
Those were
before
good.
we start anything else.
Sup?
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 Hello.
What's up?
What's up, everybody? Early, we had Cole Irwin. Yo, how's it going, man? Fantinium was here.
Oh, hey, Fantinium.
And early also, Diablo at Hashcraft. Hi, how you doing?
Hi.
Jilby Pill's in the other room. How's it going?
What's up, Jill?
LK is here.
Okay.
Excellent. I'm here. Wow, what do you know? I'm here. There's me. Does that count? I'm just doing it so I can look at the chat if I have to like share a screen or something like that.
Yeah, you're not trying to fudge the numbers, huh?
Well, come on, by one. I always watch my entire video all the way through on my other account.
You know, when they say that like the number of children that have died from COVID has gone up like 100%, it's like 3 people.
Wow.
That's, you know, you can have that kind of a massive effect on statistics with that one view.
It's true. It's true. I can, but until I get to 1,000, who really cares as far as subscribers are concerned?
Yes, of course. And then you can do all sorts of fun stuff.
That's right. LK, it's true. I was watching a lot of Norm Macdonald clips when I was doing some work for the show.
61.
61. I guess he had cancer. And I never really.
Cancer of the what? Too many drugs? What happened?
I don't know that to be true. I just know that
Man.
cancer. Yeah.
That's really
Some
young.
people say F cancer. Sequential
A lot of
geek.
good that'll do.
I don't think it really is a thing, you know, that we can really do anything about. It's always some sort of cancer, right?
I don't know.
or if not, it's something that has to like hit you early. And if it's not that, it's going to be COVID.
Well, you probably be smart to go to the doctor occasionally to have, cancer screening for whatever they have a hard time detecting.
That's right. Yeah.
Because what is it right now? Like the best way to find out if I think it's your prostate is bad is peeing and having a dog sniff it in England. Right. That's not a real reliable method of getting found out.
See. It's a dog sniffing what now?
Your urine.
Oh, so if they like to smell your urine, then...
No, don't just get your dog and see if he likes your pee. Okay, that's not gonna do it. It's more reliable than like medical technology.
And that's why we're having ATN on today.
Because I know dumb shit. Oh, excuse me.
Comics Quirks with Jimmy is here. Yo, what's going on?
What's up, Jimmy?
Jimmy, Josh. He's got a bunch of names. He's like really totally working the
Pick
angle.
one.
And then I like that. Norman's battle ended in a draw. That was cool. Everybody was posting things on Twitter, little clips, things like that, and
killed the cancer.
The one thing, as I was going through a lot of them, especially the easiest thing to watch is the news.
Oh, better.
The Saturday Night Live news, and it's easier to do that because a lot of one-liners, little jokes about the time, and
zing.
It's a very encapsulated. All the jokes are of the time because it's news, right? And man, he was going to town on Hillary Clinton and OJ. Holy cow.
She's an easy target.
And seriously though, that's kind of like, I find it funny. I think everything he said was, okay, but when you have all that weight, and it's not just Norm Macdonald, it's every other comedian and person that's out there, and then people that actually hate the person. You get all that dirt heaved upon you, all the years of being the governor's wife in Arkansas, all the way to the president's wife, and she didn't have a chance. I don't think, even though
I'm guessing she sleeps just fine.
Please, I don't believe that to be true at all.
You don't think she sleeps okay?
She was driven for that. Like, that was it. To not have that, she's even come out after the fact and kind of talk shit on the Democrats.
Oh, well.
And then when you take a look at, like, earnings...
Oh, she couldn't steal it from Bernie quick enough? What happened? Huh? She gets what she pays for, man. I don't want to talk about politics, but that woman may not be the nicest lady ever.
That's why I'm saying I don't think she's she's a great character as far as a person that's driven for something, because you as a writer or a creator of stories can take that and go anywhere with that, whereas other people are just robots doing everyday life.
Ooh, not characters.
Not characters. Yeah,
interesting. So you're saying she's a character, which I would agree. She's a character.
Without a doubt.
She's definitely a character. Her husband is too.
They all are. Well, I mean, that's the thing about politicians. Good or bad, you're probably a character.
Oh, that reminds me. California recall election? Is that done?
We were going to get into that, yeah.
Okay.
So today, I don't know if other people out there know, there was a recall election.
Special election.
To see if there will be a recall of Gavin Newsom.
The last time this happened, we ended up getting rid of Gray Davis, and we got Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold Schwarzenegger now would have been really good. Arnold Schwarzenegger there then was...
it was better than... who's that dude from... I can't remember their names. No. So many... It's like open to the public. Anybody can run when they do a recall.
They did. They had... Back then, it was Arnold from...
Gary Coleman.
Some big-breasted porno chick, or not, NC-17 chick. There was all sorts of nutbaggery. There's all sorts of nutbaggery right now. I mean, usually a Republican in California is nutbaggery to begin with.
That state is like close to 50-50.
It is, but I mean,
It's like
rural areas.
46-54.
I think a Republican in California could do very well if they are more
Yeah.
Democrat. People would call them rhinos, though, and it would just be
Whatever.
like they would be Republican in one or two issues, and that would be it. But I think California is ripe for it for sure, but not right now. not this way.
Not
with
like
the
this.
selections we've got.
Not like this.
Not without Arnold Schwarzenegger, for God's sakes. Whatever did happen to Jerry Brown?
Was it Jerry? No, Jerry Brown was the oldest and the youngest governor of California. That's what happened to Jerry Brown.
He was all right at one time, but
Governor Moonbeam, I believe he was called back in the day.
So, are you drinking anything tonight?
Water.
Water. I have water too, but
yeah. I don't drink soda.
I got a beer.
I don't like alcohol.
Look at this. I got
that's cool.
Pale from the Crypt. It's hoppy, so we'll see if I like it.
Boo.
But I also recently just read the first story from Tales of the Crypt. This
nice.
This is a reprint edition, obviously.
I wish I would have gotten that shirt, by the way, the Governor.
I was working at
I never got one.
Books during that time, and I think it was Christine, our favorite employee, Christine.
She's such a piece of shit.
But she got some Arnold Schwarzenegger bodybuilding book that we had, and she put Governator on it, and that was pretty cool. And it might not have been her; it might have been Cerise. But
either way. She's getting married. She and old Hudson are tying the knot.
Shows up. I know. It's crazy.
I love Hudson. He's good people.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Jimmy. I'm so sorry. We'll tell Dan Slott. You weren't here for that episode, so don't worry about it. ATN.
I'm not.
So yeah, I'm done with my coffee. That's a what do you call it? A little egg Easter egg.
Oh,
that was an Easter egg.
Oh, got it.
I don't think I need this beer. All right, we'll see how it is. It's
hoppy, you say? Yeah. Does that mean it's an IPA?
It is. I'm okay with that.
Philip would like it.
Yeah. And my X-Men glass. Anybody know what issue number that is without looking it up? You can tell me in chat or in the comments down below after the fact.
No idea.
Well, of course you don't know. This is during the Chris Claremont John Byrne run, and it's part of the Proteus story, if I'm not mistaken.
Proteus.
Yeah, Moira McTaggart's kid.
Oh.
That's not
his name. Proteus. Does that mean something? I think that's a real word, isn't it?
I think it's a god or something like that. One of those type of things. They usually, like Prometheus and stuff.
Words. Yeah, Greek mythology.
Oh, really? In a video just for me, Jimmy? Thank you. See, the thing about this hat is that it's got gold on it. A little trim of gold and a World Series patch from last year. That was the COVID series, for those of you that are keeping track.
I got a new baseball hat. It's coming in the mail tomorrow.
You got a baseball hat?
Yes, Cleveland.
Oh, you didn't go and get an Indians hat, did you?
No. It's just blue. It's a blue ball cap, and it's got a C on it.
I want to see. Okay, very good.
How can I not acquire this for myself?
Because of your last name.
Yeah, exactly. So, if there's a disaster, I won't be misidentified. They'll be like, no, he's got a C on his hat. He's definitely not,
Moby T with the scripture here. He was a shapeshifter in Greek myth.
The most I read was that he had an encounter with Poseidon on he was Old Man at the Sea or whatever.
There you go. So for those of you that don't know who Atian is, Atian, I'm gonna let the viewers know that you are a very good friend of mine.
Thanks. You're a good friend of mine.
Well, excellent.
I love you.
Excellent. you're not the only person. You know, I've had
Thanks.
comic book creators
It's awesome.
and comic book store owners give me accolades. You know,
Yeah, well, yeah.
I had it queued up, but here, this one.
You seem like you're a fucking great comic shop owner.
I
love
appreciate
to come out
that.
and see you sometime.
That's right.
Did he? Has he?
During COVID from Massachusetts,
Mhm.
these people don't want to come out here. Nobody
so
wants
he's-
to come out here.
So he's a masshole. is
We
what
know
you're
it's
saying.
we know it's an empty threat.
Okay.
Anyway, ATN and I we do a few things together on other. We started doing videos for Fantastic Comics, and ATN wanted to. What did you want to do? Like some sort of production thing or something like that, or just you were just doing it to help me out?
Yeah, man, I want you to
YouTube
live
videos.
forever and be really successful
As a comic book store owner.
Well, as a human and a comic book store owner,
Maybe
but a
not
human
comic
first.
store owner, but I love doing it as a human. It's sometimes easier to be a human when you're not dealing with the comic store.
Obviously, right? Obviously.
Yeah. But what we do now is, so we played like games, we've done drugs together. We've read some of the same books and written at the same time together, and explored artistic endeavors, not necessarily together, but around the same time.
We also briefly worked together.
We worked together, exactly.
I saw you get fired.
He was right there.
I was there.
I did what I did to get fired.
When that guy got mad at you, and you got mad at that guy, and he came after you.
I'll have everybody know that I struck first, but only after that guy got into my space.
He came around the counter for you.
So so all these things, and we also do a podcast together called Sci-Fi and Fantasy Read Along. And for those of you that are over on the Yule Carter channel, you should come over to the Fantastic Comics channel
first.
I forgot about that. Anywho, yeah, Sci-Fi and Fantasy Read Along, and we are now reading. Well,
we're almost done.
We are almost done. Did you finish the book?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I couldn't not. I couldn't not.
Supposed to.
Well, that too. Yeah.
Kind of. Oh, thank goodness! I did the thing I was supposed to do. And what we're reading right now is Slaughterhouse 5.
That's good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I did too.
I like that
it's
book.
A strange book for a sci-fi novel.
I would almost not call it sci-fi, to be honest.
It has aliens in it and time travel, if you will.
It's all hearsay.
It is hearsay.
It's all hearsay.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And yes, the guy did deserve it. It was not even it wasn't even really physical altercation any more than I just held him by his lapels. Just like that.
Whatever. Sometimes book scouts, which is what he was, sometimes book scouts need to be hit, right?
I don't know.
Or pushed or forced to eat their own books.
Yeah.
The garbage that they bring to used bookstores.
So Slaughterhouse 5.
Yeah.
And your name, So It Goes. I kind of felt like I've noticed a lot of people when they die.
So it goes.
People like to heap a lot of praise on the people.
Sure.
A lot of times it feels I don't know. It's like in the moment you don't want to say anything. It's like
anything
it's
bad?
like when there's a gun shooting, you don't want to talk about guns because it might upset people, right?
Oh dear.
You just thoughts and prayer it and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's kind of the same thing when people die. You know, I've seen comic illustrators die, and this is barring your personal favorites, and it's also not really a slam on anybody. But when someone dies, they are automatically they're legends. Legend, like the word legend doesn't mean anything.
You mean like Rory?
Like Rory, a legend? You mean
I have dice. I have dice that say root.
If an entire company feels that it's necessary that they honor a person's death, then you might consider that person to be legendary, especially if that person isn't a part of your company. But I don't know what kind of money went into that. So the people that don't know, the former owner of Comic Relief, who ATN has
He died.
driven big ass trucks down to San Diego. I've worked San Diego.
Yeah, 3 times.
It was a very monumental, important store. It was the first store to win an Eisner Award, or one of 2.
Is that why he died young?
I don't know, but the thing I was thinking about Rory dying at 50, I am now 51. I am now 51.
That's so
and
young.
I, as a store owner, am now doing more now than Rory did in the last 15 years of his life.
You mean actively working?
Actively working, yeah.
Yeah, not just sitting
unless,
on a stool smoking cigarettes and holding onto a coffee cup.
Yeah, or being up late at night texting, or not even texting, emailing Warren Ellis across the pond and stuff like that. Anyway, dude was important. And I would say that a guy like him is legendary. If you talk about other stores, a store that lasts, and other people might not know who he is. But it's the same thing with like comic creators. I also seen recently, there were like wrestler does. And, it's just like, people, this is the greatest person, or they'll say it's the greatest big man, that type of stuff,
or the GOAT,
and the GOAT, of all time, and it's
that's
what
about,
everybody wants to have the conversation of their own, Mount Rushmore of whatever. What's your Mount Rushmore of sci-fi writers?
Stanislaw Lem.
That's nice. Yeah. There's also like the camps that people get into also.
Ooh, are we going to fight about something? What are we going to fight about?
I'm not necessarily going to fight about something. It's just something that is like out there. And I feel like, so this is the problem with my life. I'm a Dodger fan. So I like baseball. I have a team that's in it, and there's other teams that don't like it, obviously. And I live in an area in the Bay Area where I don't get a lot of derision necessarily, but all the media that's out here,
a little bit of solidarity, sure,
dude. Not only that, but today Dave Fleming, or maybe it was yesterday, did an interview, or it wasn't an interview. He's the play-by-play for the Giants, and he was talking smack about the Dodgers pitching staff just like the other day, and so there was a moment in this season where you could use sticky stuff. They call it spider tack and shit like that. And you can get a better rotation on the ball when you're throwing it. And the better spin rate and velocity and rotation, and it's harder to get solid contact. So halfway of the season, they're like, no more. You do it and you're going to get suspended. And dude's talking shit about the Dodgers, saying that they're after today, so will the Dodgers, they're saying that their pitching's gotten worse, and it's just a bald-faced lie. In fact, the only pitching that's gotten worse since then has been the Giants pitching. I mean, not the only, but between the two teams, I mean. And it's like, it's not necessarily even because of the fact that there isn't that substance available anymore. And if you just like live in your own little freaking bubble, it's like, that's the right freaking thing, Same thing with masks and vaccines and all the other things that are in this world. But my life, it's the same in comic books. It could be something as simple like Marvel and DC, or Independence, and or even the companies. Archie is doing a Kickstarter.
Archie.
Well,
Kickstarter.
It's a little bit. So Archie, a few years ago, tried to do a Kickstarter so that they could fund 3 different books over the course of the year. And a bunch of people on Kickstarter and outside in the Twitter world were getting really, really upset about this, because how dare a big company come into this area where just us independent people are trying to make a living.
Yeah.
Well, now, Keanu Reeves has done that other stuff, and all the old pros of comic books are going and doing crowdfunding stuff. So you're screwed either anyway. So now Archie, or at least it's Dan Parent, who works for Archie, is taking this character, and he's getting all of the Kelvin Keller, which is the gay character that was introduced, I think around 2011, 2010, something like that. They're getting all the stories with him, and they're putting in an omnibus, and you can go and kickstart it so that you can get that. The company doesn't take any they don't take any risk on that, because people are paying up front.
Right.
There aren't stores that are buying it, and if it's made available, why is the store going to necessarily, a lot of the customers that want it are probably already getting it, that type of thing. And it's not just that, it's like all the crowdfunding things. A lot of times I'll see things that are like, oh, we have retailer incentives, and they're not very good, or they're not like it used to be. And I understand, because it's a different world, but it feels like everything is acing out my store. I feel, because of digital stuff, eventually, I still feel that comic books are going to be the last printed material that's,
like cockroaches of the printed world, right?
Yeah, I without a doubt, because there's always going to be somebody making a comic strip. It just might be very Staples. Of course, is there going to even be a Staples in the future? I don't know. But the more technology gets, and that's my life, and I got all this shit here, and I'm thinking, after having read Slaughterhouse-5. It's just like, oh my God, I don't know if I can necessarily keep on keeping on with that stuff all the time anymore.
You don't have to.
Well, I don't. I personally don't. I feel like there's a certain obligation to my customers and the area. But at the same time, the same fight I've had with myself in the past is, if the area can't support a comic store, then it's not needed.
They could.
Right?
That town's rich.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, situation now is a little bit different than it's been in the past.
Still a rich town. And I mean rich.
It doesn't mean any... Well, I was noticing in downtown Berkeley before the pandemic, for a couple years.
Homeless people, drug addicts. What were you noticing?
No, I remember those people too. I think they're still around. But
of course they are.
More and more people were getting Uber... Eats,
sure.
Uber,
Deliver. DoorDash and all that stuff.
Usually you park your car and then you have to go and walk to a place. And on the way, when you get to the place, there's things in between.
Yeah.
But now there's less things in between, and you're just getting dropped right in front, double parking in front of a fire hydrant anyway.
Yeah. You're not going to be buying a comic book on the way.
Not if you can't walk past it, because some fucking bum's right in front of their store. And if it's not a bum, before it used to be like those people that will, hey, you want to sign up something for gay rights?
Sure I do.
How you feeling about guns these days?
I love them.
And they're walking down the street, and nobody wants to walk in front of your stores if that stuff's going on.
No.
It's such a nice place where we are now, though. It's small, but it's quiet. And
it would be. It would be really, really nice, except for the foot traffic.
That's the problem. But of course, I wasn't seeing it before anyway. And oh, what's all this hate language? I know. I'm sorry.
Hate?
I shouldn't do that.
What are we jumping on?
I was probably saying.
Who?
Oh, and I shouldn't say homeless. They're now called unhoused.
Oh, fuck that. Austin made it illegal to camp.
Really?
Uh-huh. They're doing everything they can right now to go down in history as like reviled or something. I'm not sure exactly what they're after, but
all of Texas.
Yeah, with hold on, what are they doing? They passed that really, really strict abortion law, which the Supreme Court didn't hear. They made homelessness illegal in Austin, which is the capital, which is overrun, but at the same time, they're just going to go back to living at the creeks and stuff. I don't know, whatever. And voting rights. They have some pretty pretty strict voting right. I don't get the voting right thing personally. Like, I don't understand why it's a big deal. It seems to me that like having an ID is like, that's reasonable, right? So why is that? Why do people get up in arms that you need ID to go vote?
I've heard the arguments.
I haven't, so please enlighten me.
There's people live far away.
Okay.
It's not real easy for older people to do the things like that, you know. I mean, it's not a California ID. I mean, not a real ID. You know, it's not as hard as getting a real ID, I don't think. But you know, these are some of the things.
Is it a separate ID?
Yeah, I guess it is.
It can't be. It can't be.
I don't know what the hell it is, dude.
It's got to be your driver's license, man. It's gotta be.
Maybe that's just all it is. But I personally think that's one that should be. If you can have real conversation and debate with people, and if you can say, well, I can agree to this if you can agree to that, then I really don't think there's any problem with it whatsoever. I mean, they make sure to get people in freaking buses to get to the polling places, right? Well, they can make sure to schedule a day so that all the old freaking people can get picked up and go get their IDs, right? And, you know, I'm sure Soros could pay for the people that can't afford it.
That's that rich dude, huh?
I'm just joking. That's the guy that's always getting picked on.
Well, he's like he's the super PAC for the Democrats.
Yeah.
So whatever. Whatever. It's always strange to me when you got these like uber rich people and they claim that they're Democrats. Nah. See,
now I think there you go. And I've said this also, especially with Fantinuum in the room. We want people vaxxed, and they want people to get ID'd. Just do it all in the same place.
That's awesome.
Boom.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
I'm okay if people don't want to get vaccinated. I'm good with it, man.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm all right with it.
Even with like, you know, variants that can like
I don't
break
care
through the vaccinations that other people have.
We're a scourge, dude. We're a scourge on the planet. We deserve to get wiped out.
It kind of goes back to Slaughterhouse 5. It doesn't matter in the end.
It definitely does not. And like I've just not seen any point or purpose for, you know, most of my life. So I don't, it's not a big deal. Honestly, like if the plague in Europe wiped out so many people, like their civilization, they call it dark ages, not just because, you know, the sky wasn't dark. They call it the dark ages because like there's like a loss of history. There's like civilization essentially collapsed while they got through the plague years, right? Hundreds of years of plague. Guess what? Still here, right? So this isn't going to wipe us out. It's just going to kill some people. And like if you look at the numbers, I don't know, couple of million are going to die from it. Oops, big deal. Not that big, unless you know somebody that died from it, in which case I'm sorry, but at the same time, it's a drop in the bucket, man. It's a drop in the bucket.
Mm-hmm.
It's real hard to be sympathetic. I mean, billions and billions of us on the planet.
Well, I gotta say, it's very hard to be sympathetic when I'm seeing people that are coming out and they're like, not only are they anti-vax, but they're also anti-mask. Yeah, and then they're getting it and dying, and it's
and then telling all of their fans, you guys got it.
I don't want to be really mean about it, but
this sucks.
they're like Yul Brynner. I smoked my whole life. Now I have lung cancer. If you have anything you can do for me while my deathbed, don't smoke. You know, it's that kind of shit. You know, and it's like, oh yeah. All those doctors that said it was good. It's good. It expands your arteries.
Yeah. Opens them up. Opens them right up.
The best one I always heard was you get stoned, and then you smoke a cigarette, and it kind of just traps it all in there.
It definitely. I mean, nicotine does have that effect on drugs. I mean, I noticed it on opiates personally, but like I couldn't do them both at the same time. Back in the day when I would do either one, right? Because if I did anything like that and then I smoked a cigarette, straight to the toilet.
All right, so let's see here. All right, you guys talking. Excellent. Look at us all talking about this stuff. This is the thing. I kind of have a feeling that this show might, we might, if we continue to do it. See, this is the problem. I'm having a lot of work that I'm doing these days.
Yeah, and you're naturally lazy, so.
And I'm naturally a lazy person. You know, it's very hard to get these clips together, even though they've been provided by so many wonderful people prior to this. But I have a feeling that I'm going to still do the live stuff. It's just I think it's going to be a little less structured. It'll be a little less comic book.
Wait, I'm sorry, less structured?
Well, that's the reason why I had you on today, because I was like, you know, I'm going to probably have AT on a little bit more, and we're going to probably have a funky subject. So, like, I'm going to probably bring back
what's the subject?
This whole everything.
Yeah, I get you.
There's no subject today. I said I was going to talk about death and how, like, you know, it's just making me think about all these things and like what's important and what the conversation is. And it's just like everybody is so, like, you know, butting their heads all the time. And it's like, even in my entertainment world, even in my wrestling and my comic books and my comic book, social media, you know, and all that stuff. Even in sports,
you know how to avoid that stuff?
Well, you just don't do it altogether.
Yeah, just drop social media entirely. You'll be fine.
Well, and I think, you know, ultimately, like there's been a mass exodus of people from like Twitter, of comic book creators recently. Of course, they have other things like their newsletters that they do, Substack newsletters, and they already are gathering their fans. And so they can be like that Giants announcer, and they can just get the information that they want, even though it's totally a fallacy, even though it's false.
Yeah.
All the stuff that they're getting, they can get from their people, and they never, ever have to worry about all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of like getting Ubered straight to the place you wanted to go.
I kind of wish there was a Twitter virus, you know?
Well, it is a virus in itself. I remember thinking it's just freaking people showing me what they freaking eat and then posting it on Facebook also.
Doesn't kill enough people, though.
No, it doesn't. Well, it does.
Not even close.
Sometimes their careers.
That doesn't count, man. Honestly, like I view it as kind of a cesspit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's some really great things, and you know, like I found out about Norm Macdonald immediately.
Yeah,
and then immediately there was like all the other stuff that was going up, and it's like, did you ever see him on The View?
No. Why would I have seen him on The View?
That's why I pulled this, because you might not have ever seen this. All right, listen to this. Speaking of Clintons.
See, I think we should get the homicide out of the White House and get like a fresh start, because we don't want any more murderers.
I think we should just go on to the next question.
Oh.
Who are the murderers? Yeah.
Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy.
Yeah, you know, we're not allowed to. You're not allowed to put out no accusations without.
That's a little too far.
That's the way it doesn't work.
Let's just go on to the next question.
Yeah.
This is not my week. What can I tell you?
Oh, it's not mine either, and I'm being very nice. Okay. Be a good boy. Now, Norm.
Do you never hear that?
No. Listen, we don't need to talk about that.
I don't want to get into this, and I don't want to hear it, and this is not the place to make those accusations, and you're supposed to be funny. Let's get on with it.
Exactly.
Get with it.
There you go.
This is a live show.
Why? Norm, but you have been properly chastised by Barbara, so I'm now going to ask the next question.
I thought it was a matter of record.
Shut up. Shut up. Look,
Okay.
let me do this, okay?
I'll tell you what.
Norm Macdonald.
That guy's hilarious.
He's all right.
He's
all right. He made me chuckle a little bit.
I can't watch his I can't watch any of his recent clips that YouTube has on, or else I get all this other material I don't want recommended to me. I guess I could do it on what is it called? Incognito.
I don't know. Maybe it works. Oh man, Bill Burr is the GOAT. Bill Burr and Dave Chappelle. When Dave Chappelle's being funny and not being political, they're both the greatest.
I like Dave Chappelle quite a bit. Bill Burr, I've only
He's
heard
funny.
a little bit.
Oh my God, Bill Burr is amazing. But it took him a while to get there, but he's there. He's definitely there. He's a master.
I gotta admit, sometimes like Dave Chappelle, he feels like I do want to hear what he has to say about stuff politically, because he can kind of go like that. And I think it's important for somebody that people really look towards to say stuff, doesn't just, just say what people want.
Yeah,
Or
I
just
watched
say
the
things that aren't, it's conversational either way.
He did a Netflix special that wasn't actually comedy. It was just him talking about being black and how people treat black people. And it was fine, but it wasn't funny. Right. And honestly, he has made me laugh enough times in the past that it's okay, I'll forgive him for that one. But at the same time, like, I want to see his comedy. I don't really care about anybody talking politics. I'll make up my own mind.
Especially a comic book show.
Well, I mean, whatever.
Hey, can I interest you in some comics that are coming out this week?
Maybe.
It's true what it says on the song. We do get new comics every Wednesday. Believe it. Believe it. All right. First up, I mixed them up a little bit so it's not all alphabetical. I'm enjoying this beer okay. It's a little citrusy.
Okay.
All right. First up, we have Batman 89 #2. I sold out of the first issue. So DC can't just do Batman and Batman miniseries, but now they're doing ones that follow the movies.
Why
not? Weren't you a fan of the movie? Michael Keaton?
No.
Billy D. Williams was going to be Two-Face until they got too scared to make him Two-Face.
Why?
I guess no, they weren't really too scared. What's his name was really super popular. The guy from that Harrison Ford movie.
Tommy Lee Jones?
Tommy Lee Jones, yeah, he was pretty popular during that time. So I guess they probably just decided to.
So they wanted somebody they could pay more? What?
Probably that's what it was.
Billy D. Williams probably would have done a good job.
I think so. So at least we're getting him this way.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Titans United.
What is going on?
They're happily flying towards the Earth, maybe like Manhattan, away from like Titan's Tower.
I have a problem with busy covers.
Yeah.
That's a busy cover.
Is it? It's not enough blank space in it that it's not too I mean, they are pretty grouped together.
Whatever. I would overlook it. You know what I'm saying?
The artist is named Jorge Luis, not Jorge Luis Garcia Lopez, like the site I got this picture from. So. Next up, we have Eternals Thanos Rises.
That's awesome.
That's Asad Ribic, I do believe.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is. He's so good.
He's been the Eternals series artist. I think he's doing the illustrations in this also.
That reminds me of the Jim Starlin stuff.
Jim Starlin, yeah.
A little bit, yeah, with all that space stuff in the background. But that was a nice cover.
You know what? Let me change the banner just a second.
You can always show me Assad, whatever his name is.
Ribic.
Whatever. Who cares? He's amazing. He's amazing.
Oh, is that who that was? Oh, Ben Oliver. Ben Oliver is not busy. That's the thing. He's Oliver.
Is he a comedian?
Cover will be the best part. Eternals has been pretty good. I've enjoyed it. It's thinky, but it's introducing you to characters that, for the most part, let's be real, nobody's ever cared about. So it's a tough sell anyway. All right, next up we have. Oh, here's one of my favorite books of the year. Possibly in contention for series of the year. Red Room #4. Each issue by Ed Piskor is about a different killer, or at least a person who's involved with the Red Room killings, which is a dark web internet site where you get to pay bitcoins to watch people get killed.
No.
Just like I thought, the dark web was only for purchasing pinkies, and that's what Bitcoin's used for.
Didn't was it Honduras? Just it was one of the I think it was a Central American country that just they adopted Bitcoin as their national currency.
Oh, they did. Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
So now when you are purchasing a tenth of 100% of Bitcoin, you are probably funding some cartel.
I'm not sure why they did it.
Excellent. Probably, or at least funding the technology that you have to dig to get your cell phones to work. Congratulations, Bitcoin.
Might have been it was El Salvador.
El Salvador. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Red Room by Ed Piskor. Excellent stuff.
He's
also,
amazing.
I want to let you know, since he's in the chat, Eric Breen, who has been on our show, he's done some retrospectives recently with Wes from Thinking Critical. And one of the most recent ones was a Jim Starlin book called The Death of Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Excellent review by these guys, and it's an excellent story. Fantastic Comics is selling the graphic novel of it.
All right.
And it has other stories that are referenced in the. So the thing is that when The Death of Captain Marvel came out, it was for Marvel's new series called Marvel Graphic Novels. Let me see if I can get this right here. Marvel Graphic Novels were bigger. And
you mean like fit on the shelf bigger?
No, they were comic books, so they have a spine. Let me see if I can get this spine.
Sure.
But then it's bigger than a normal comic book.
Yeah, like fit on the shelf bigger.
Well, I mean, in the box, it'd be a magazine box, stuff like that.
Right.
But this is what a Marvel graphic novel was. This is the obviously super awesome God Loves Being Killed.
Muty.
Yeah. Which was, obviously the slur for mutants.
I know. I love it.
Brent Anderson, not only did he art in it, but he signed us at a Golden Apple opening that I was at.
Yeah.
And there you go.
You gonna send that off to get it graded?
No, God no.
God no.
God no.
No.
Grading comics is stupid.
I agree.
You want to sell them. Anyway, Marvel graphic novels were the first one was Death of Captain Marvel, and what a freaking amazing! Go to what Wes is Thinking Critical, hit videos, and you can see the retrospectives. Next up, we have Primordial #1 by Jeff Lemire with art by Andrea Sorrentino and color art by Dave Stewart of the Eurythmics.
Sorrentino did the he did that. Hold on, the thinky one, like the David Lynch style-ish.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. What's it called? The
Gideon
Red Barn,
Falls.
Black Barn, Gideon Falls. There we go.
Gideon Falls. Yeah, excellent. Excellent. Hold on a sec. I just wanted to see.
Oh, look at this.
Look at this.
Yeah. Terrible. Absolutely.
Let me know if you get a VF of that Sienkiewicz Daredevil graphic novel. Which one?
VF Plus, man. That's
VF Plus. That would be
that's a big difference.
Electra Assassin? Yeah, and please don't slab X-Men. They cost too much when you want to buy them. All right. Anyway, I'm looking forward to this. This is a mini series like all comics these days, and I think it's alternate history about going to the moon.
Or did we?
Bum bum bum.
So I saw. I'm not going to tell you the name of the website, but I watch a website for political news, which I think is interesting because I hate politics. But somebody on there, they're talking about the 9/11 anniversary, I guess it was, and somebody from another country was saying that there's no wreckage from any of those planes from 9/11, right? And I'm like, wow, that's one of those people from another country. They have them everywhere. They're not just here.
Mm-mm.
Isn't that good news, though?
Oh, well, I mean, there isn't an increase in people that believe that the earth is flat. There's an increase in people that know that those idiots are out there.
Yeah.
Fight Club by Frank Cho, writing and drawing sexy women fighting for the hand of marriage of this king.
Fight girls?
Fight girls.
Okay. Frank Cho, yeah, he does have a tendency to draw voluptuous ladies.
Sexy, muscular, fit women.
Mm-hmm.
Super fit, like super athletic fit.
Okay.
And he also does like dinosaurs and shit like that. And it's a fun series. It's just fun though.
Megalodon.
Next up we have Ninjak number 3. I just read Ninjak number 2.
I remember when Valiant was big.
Yeah, the 90s. Amazing time.
Ninjak was like the end, man. Like when Ninjak came onto the scene, that was the end for them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was the beginning of the end, at least.
Beginning of the end. There was a lot more to come, actually.
I mean, it was a lot of drop off at that point. They were publishing first appearances in every single issue, so that you would buy got to get 10 of each. You know, they killed themselves.
Well, I'm a big fan of Jeff Parker's writing, and Javier Pulido, who got a lot of derision before this book came out. Some great pages in the second issue, and I recommend checking this book out, in spite of what the naysayers say.
Am I a naysayer?
No, not you. Just the people that are out there. Let me see. Are people? Nobody's buying 90s Valiant at my store. Not even if they're in the dollar bin.
I bet you could sell some of them if you had them.
If I had the first couple issues of Harbinger, Exo Man of War maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But personally, I'm looking for the last issues of Magnus Robot Fighter, which had a very low print run.
I like the look of that book. I always did.
I don't like that little shift he wears. So I just feel like I'm going to see his nuts at any time.
Any minute. I mean, that's part of the appeal, right?
No, that's not part of the appeal. That's why I don't want to
see.
I don't.
I don't want to see.
Every time I watch Wrestling with Jill, she'll be like pointing out like the dick of someone,
Ooh.
And I don't see that part. And she's like, how can you not see it? It's right there. And I'm all, I just don't. Magnus Robot Fighter challenges my ability to not have to see someone's taint.
No, man, we look at, I mean, depending on your sexual orientation or whatnot, but like I look at women with that kind of, interest. I don't look at men with that interest. Right?
No, not usually.
No.
I mean, you got to really wow me.
It's got to be right in your face, right?
That's right.
What is that movie? What was that John Waters? It was Pecker. John Waters Pecker. Teabag. Was it teabagging?
There.
Yeah. That was so good. Oh, so good.
All right, we got it all. We've just done a John Waters reference. So
I love John Waters. He's so funny.
I'll start doing clips from John Waters films.
God, they're good. Harley Quinn.
Speaking of LGBTQ plus IA,
who is the green person?
Poison Ivy. This has been a much suggested coupling, and in the past there's been like references to it, and this is based off the animated series from HBO Max, where Harley cusses and flips off people and has gay kissing. And in this comic, they're continuing it because these guys are having a torrid love affair in a
public place.
I don't know. They're just like shoot. It's like Commissioner Gordon seems like kind of like a dork, like a sheriff or Smokey and the Bandit kind of situation.
A buffoon,
he's like a Smokey, a buffoon.
Yeah.
A Cletus, a yokel from Gotham. And he's chasing these ladies around, and they're having marital spats and a lot of kissing and coupling in bed. The art's really good.
Yeah, it sounds boring though.
It was okay. I think people that want to read that are going to really like it though.
Okay.
Jupiter's Legacy number 4 comes out. This is a miniseries based off of the Netflix series that got canceled.
Jupiter's Legacy. This rings bells to me. What happened with that?
There was a Jupiter Circle, Well, this is Jupiter's Legacy Requiem. The first one was Jupiter's Legacy, and I think we probably did videos of it in the early days when we worked together.
Really?
Shooting, yeah.
I remember talking about Mark Millar, but I don't remember anything about it. There's some other Jupiter Ascending, but that's not related, right?
There was a Jupiter Circle, and it was related, but it was a prequel to the regular series, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Drawn by a different person.
Mark Millar. So this failed? The show?
Netflix isn't always committal, or they don't have like a
they're scattershot. They're looking for a hit.
Non-committal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like you sometimes get lucky if you get a third season with them. It can't all be Frank and Gracie.
And with good cause. Well, I mean, did you enjoy the third season, or is there a
Frank and Gracie? It's amazing.
No. Stranger Things.
No, I didn't like the first season.
First 2 seasons were fantastic.
I mean, the first season was good, but I never needed to watch another one, especially after the first episode of season 2.
I don't remember why that would be true.
I just didn't like. I don't like being. Hey, we like things you like. Let me shove it in your face, even though it has nothing to do with something.
What was it though? I don't remember.
I don't know. Nobody had to clash in their freaking room, especially in Indiana or wherever they are. Give me a break.
You're talking about the stuff on the walls. Yeah. Okay.
Almost nobody was playing D&D. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
But I would expect it to be in Indiana or wherever they were. But
enough people did. I don't know,
all
man.
That stuff. Give me a break.
That kid had good taste in music, but bad taste in women. Right? I mean, come on, Nancy.
I don't know what
Get out of here. Get out of here. Who was the guy that had the mullet that was also the Power Ranger? He was my favorite. I loved him. He was the best.
The Power Ranger?
Yeah. He had been a Power Ranger in the TV show or something. And
I gotta tell you, if it ain't OG, then I don't know. And
he had the curly hair and the Trans Am. I think he showed up for the second season. He had the sister and he was a mean guy. Whatever. He was awesome.
Wow, you watch Power Rangers?
No. I just knew that's where he came from or whatever.
Oh, I see.
No, I didn't know.
Gotcha.
Didn't. Sorry, man. I would have as a kid, but I didn't. Didn't have cable.
Cable was on like Fox for us.
Dude, what can I tell you, man? I didn't see it.
Yeah, well, either did I. Next up, we have a new Hellboy. I think it's a one-shot.
Is this him doing the art, though? I see his name on there, but he just do the cover or what?
It would be this Lawrence Campbell that did the art.
Is it any good? Does it look like him? I mean,
it will be in the. It will look good for people that like Hellboy, but it probably won't be as awesome. Like no one's Mignola, you know.
I know, and he doesn't work nearly hard enough, in my opinion.
I think he's pretty much done doing a lot of art.
Yeah.
He's
just raking in the money now.
It's
like piled up on his lawn, and he's just like pulling it in, you know.
The Joker is still coming out, and again, talking about people that I've witnessed on social media talking about it. Today, there was a thread that I read where people are like, "If you know, do you see the price on this thing?"
No, I was looking at the names. Where's the price? Oh, $6.
$6, and people are like, I really like this series by Tynan. Guillaume March is an awesome illustrator, but $6 is just too much. And when it has a backup story that I never wanted to read or ask for, it's just too much money. And back in the day, DC did this thing where they said they were holding the line at $2.99, but that was a lot of years ago now. That was before we opened as a store, and people still remember that tag, a great tag. But now people, I remember the $2.99. But Marvel's been doing like $6.99 and $8.99 specials, and a reason to have a special all the time. And DC's like, look at these fools. We're selling more numbers of books, but they make more money all the time. And I can't blame them for doing this, but it's hard to sell it. You know what
12
I mean?
cents.
Especially when people that say they like it. My
12 cents.
uncle, I've said it before in previous episodes, my uncle bought comics at 10 cents. And when they hiked it up to 12 cents, he was done.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you didn't buy any of the good comics is what you're telling me.
Yeah, right. So I remember when I was younger and I didn't have any money, which was commonplace because, we didn't get allowance or anything like that. I couldn't afford comics ever, you know? So spending even $1 back then was not going to happen. And that's so cheap now, $1, but it wasn't cheap then.
It wasn't. And I also didn't eat lunch so I could go and
I know.
buy comics that were like
Yeah.
75 cents,
Yep.
$1.25.
Yeah.
Whatever it was at the time. I don't think it was in the dollars yet, but still. And it's just comics were $1. You just buy them.
They used to be cheap. They used to be disposable entertainment. Now they're collectibles.
Well, it got to be collectible for sure. It was always collectible.
No, I mean, they're marketed as
subscribe to it. And the idea that I'm going to send my kids to college on my comic books.
Yeah, sure you
was
are.
Very popular in the 90s. That's why there was such a glut of people buying multiple copies all the time.
No wonder nobody's got an education. Right? Because it didn't work out, did it?
Nah, I don't think that's true. I think people got plenty of education.
Well, education has gone up commensurate to the cost of comic book, and probably more so. I think it's more than doubled. Like, you used to actually be able to get a free education if you went to a state institution. And the last time I checked, I'm trying to remember who it was. Some guy, it was a guy I worked with. He had student loan debt. And I was like, how much student loan debt do you have? And he's like, I think he said $50,000. I was like, where did you go to school? And he's like, state school somewhere. I'm like, holy shit. What did you do? Take out a loan so that you could like not work? Or, I mean, what happened? Because state school you should not come out of the state school with $50,000 of debt. That's crazy. That's insane. That's nuts.
I don't know. I mean, I still assume it's at least, $8,000 a year, right?
I don't know, but I mean, it literally used to be free.
Well,
it was like $1,000 for a semester. It's like, okay, that's not literally free, but I mean, that's a bargain, man. That's a good deal.
Well, we were trying to educate our people and wanted to so that we could, we were still building our country. Now our country is based off being automatons. We've been replaced. That Uber driver is getting replaced soon.
I'm happy to be replaced. Let them pay my taxes, whatever's replacing me.
Then I highly recommend everybody come to my store and buy issues 1 and 2 of Not All Robots. It's about AI and robots, and they serve us in every way, including going to work for us.
Absolutely.
Home, making our food for us.
Please
doing
sleep with
all
my
our
wife.
laundry, doing everything we could possibly need them to do. Meanwhile, they're kind of starting to resent it.
Well, yeah, nobody wants to be the help, right?
Including the robots that are maintaining the flow of air in certain parts of the world.
Don't give them a brain. It's very simple. It's very simple.
Well, I mean, that's a cool thing about, especially in superhero comic books, stuff like that happens all the time. Ultron and the Avengers and all that stuff.
Are you afraid of the AI, the AI
personally?
that are coming? Yeah.
Well, I mean, my favorite movies like Terminator, growing up, was all about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If not that, it's more like The Matrix or Total Recall.
Right.
Which were all based off of books from, way back when. Recently, or just today, I saw someone tweeting about Starship Troopers, and
Heinlein.
That's based off Heinlein, and that's like a satirical look at. It's a satirical look at.
That's his war book.
Yeah, his war book, exactly. Again, going back to Slaughterhouse 5. It not only that, I love you. You aren't a citizen until you serve.
That's like Israel, right?
I like that. You're just not a citizen.
We should have
still
that.
Live a very good life. It's no problem at all.
We should do that.
They just kind of like look at you differently. Well, they say that if everybody serves, then there will be a lot less likely that everybody would be willing to go to war.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. If it was compulsory, 2-4 years, whatever, there's so many fewer people would be into it.
At the same time, my buddy Kenichi, who was in the Swedish military, probably didn't look like a person that should have been in any military. And we used to make fun of him when he played GoldenEye, saying that's the reason why Sweden never fights.
Was he bad? Was he just like shooting all over the place, like unable to like control his aim?
It's just hilarious. Boston Dynamics will be the fall of us. Is that the one that's doing all the parkour stuff?
They are the robotics company. They got bought recently also. So they were owned for a little while by, I don't remember, but they got sold really recently. So I couldn't tell you who picked them up, but they do mechanical stuff. They're not into AI as far as like brains. They're not making brains. But
oh, well, thank goodness.
Somebody's working on it.
Yeah. Make one for me, please. Last but not least, I Am Batman #1 comes out. John Ridley is writing it. He does movies, and Olivier Coipel is doing the illustrations. Yeah,
he's good.
And I read some of this. It's pretty good. Excuse me. It's getting into the character. It's a new person playing Batman, one of the Fox brothers or sons. And
who were they?
Really good.
Who were
Fox.
the Fox?
So Lucius
F-A-U-X?
F-O-X.
Oh, okay.
Lucius Fox is the person who used to run Wayne Enterprises for Bruce because he was all being a playboy, really being Batman.
Too busy wooing the ladies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then when Bruce Wayne lost all his money in the Joker War. Well, he didn't lose all of it. He's just a mere millionaire now.
A mere pauper.
What good is Bruce Wayne if he isn't a billionaire? I mean, jeez. So he's had to scale down quite a bit. You know, it's not just jets all the time.
It's all Walmart stuff now.
Meanwhile, Lucius is taking control of the company.
Yeah.
Because the investors are like, well, let's give it to him. He's the next in line. We trust him. He's been running shit all this time. And now he's giving his billions to his kid to be Batman or something like that.
Okay.
I love the art. It's so well done because when he's Batman, his like face is down and you don't know the guy's black. But every other moment in the book, he is. So it's kind of funny how he's like playing into shadows, and where everybody was like, "Oh, we got a black Batman." It's like, yeah, he's in the shadows. It doesn't matter.
Nobody will ever know.
All it's doing is helping, I guess.
Right.
But the art would reflect that, and it's like I can't even tell that this guy's a black Batman anymore. It's just nothing. Just don't go out in daylight and it'll be fine. Everybody will just think it's the same person. Nobody will know. So those are the comics that are coming out tomorrow. There's a bunch of other 1 Million Can't Buy a House.
Man, you had to buy you could have bought well in Berkeley in the very late 80s. That's probably the end of it. Early 90s maybe.
If you are inclined to be like, moving stuff and buying properties, you might be able to like pull it off, but you have to have a plan, I think.
It takes a long time too. So it's not like you can just bootstrap yourself from nothing to a house in Berkeley.
Yeah, I'm sure. I just think out here it's really difficult anyway. But as more people leave,
difficult everywhere, man.
Well, there's a lot of companies that are fighting this whole idea that you can work from home and get paid the same amount of money.
Oh, definitely.
There's obviously taxes involved if people live in a certain state.
Yep.
But when you can still do your job from Iowa,
why should
a house costs what? What is 100? You're in New Mexico, right? To dox you just a bit. What does 100,000 get you there?
Nothing.
To here?
Nothing.
500,000.
Oh, you definitely do. Yeah, I mean, there's houses here for more than 2, less than 3. There's and all the way up, right?
Yeah, 2 or 3. But like the guys were saying, you can't say that in Berkeley, and you probably can't say that anywhere out
Dude,
here.
you haven't been able to say that in Berkeley for a long time.
Yeah.
Long time.
Yeah.
It's been expensive for a very long time now.
The further out you live, it's like this idea of being able to work from home is good, but now they're like talking about, possibly, and I love it. It's like these tech companies, these people that are all up on the, the new stuff that, the Googles and the YouTubes and all that stuff, or the Facebook, and they're like, no, we want you to come in. No, I don't want to come in. I know.
Why do they need to? Like, if they're productive at home, let them work from home, but definitely give them a pay cut. Absolutely give them a pay cut. I mean, commuting, maintenance on the car, all the stuff that would normally be a per diem from, that kind of reimbursement, all of that stuff, you just take that out of their salary. Let them work from home. I'd do it. I lived in Iowa for a little while, for 2 years. That was like 2 of my best years. Because I had inexpensive rent, had a house to myself. I like cold weather. It was amazing. It was great. I'd move back.
Really?
Oh yeah. I'm thinking about moving again anyway. I was thinking about Maine this time though.
Maine?
Yeah, Maine's really nice.
Really?
Yes, really nice.
I mean, I've heard that. I've known people that lived in Maine, like Portland.
I think they have harsh winters, but I'm okay with that.
I think they have harsh winters also.
Yeah, Maine, yeah. Iowa's really pretty scary, man. Like, you'd be surprised how cold and windy it gets there. Yeah, I'm talking like
suited for it necessarily.
-10.
Yeah,
pretty common.
I mean, if I could just stay inside, that'd be fine. But
yeah, exactly.
I have to go out. But
now
you kind of
plug in your car. You plug in your car. You hustle outside. You started ahead of time. You go back inside. You come back out. You go drive to the grocery store.
It's like Fargo. I know.
Hustle inside. It's
Yeah.
easy, man. It's easy. It's actually kind of funny. You just got to drive slow and don't walk fast because you'll slip on the ice and break yourself.
I'll visit you in the summer if we're ever allowed to.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. So Texas is getting out of hand too, though. Like Austin's very expensive now. Very expensive. I think it's beating New York now as far as rent goes.
Really?
Yep.
Damn.
All those tech companies that started up in there and moved over there, and they get what they deserve, is what I say.
And the thing is like in all those other states where the land is so empty, those are owned by Ted Turner. It's owned by the conglomerates of the world out there. And even
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like I assume like where there's more open land, we're talking about like the Idaho and the Iowas and the Kentuckys, and it's not all jam packed with people living there, right?
Kentucky is gorgeous, by the way.
Why is it gorgeous?
It's hilly, it's treed, it's green, it's lush, rivers. I mean, tall trees, and it's just gorgeous countryside.
And it's not like populated like, California and New York and Texas and
I mean, they have cities, but no, it's not.
Sure,
it's not populous by comparison.
I mean, anyway, all those places where all that land is not being, utilized and stuff, it's owned by people already.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you're never going to get, these people buy land or buy homes and they don't own the water that's underneath it, and all that other stuff.
Well, you look into that before you buy, right? You don't
it's going to get to a
land.
Point. What I'm saying is it's going to get to a point where it doesn't matter if you look into it. That's the only thing that's going to be available to you,
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. Like,
it's all been taken care of before we even get there.
I think that might be an overestimation.
Even when you own things, you can't just like cut down your own trees, and sell it to make paper and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can.
I don't think I was told that like up north and stuff like that, if you can't just do that. It has to be allowed to have happen.
No, I mean, they're probably talking about logging it, like clear cutting or whatever, but like you totally can do that. You can totally do that. Oh, there's places.
I mean, yeah. What do I know? Anyhow, thank you Well, do we have anything else to talk about?
I don't know, man. I can go on all day.
I can too. Let me do this. All right, here we go. As remote work expands, the concept of cost of living will change. Housing market boom at play is problematic factor for the common worker. I just think all of that stuff is the same thing. Is just, oh man, it's going to be harder to get your comic books. That's what I think.
They don't want you to get them anymore, man. They want you to get them digital. They want to cut out all the middlemen that they possibly can, because that's the only place that they can keep squeezing to make more money. Unfortunately, you're a middleman in the eyes of the publishing industry. And so if they can kill you by means of getting to the dollar of your fans and your customers, they will.
I don't know if it's necessarily kill me. I mean, the thing is that I'm an inconvenience or a
They don't have to kill you, because you'll eventually disappear.
Right. It'll just be, I'm just an inconvenience, a thing that has to happen, a necessity, an inconvenient necessity right now. But as soon as that's available for, no more, it's all online sales. It's all vintage stuff, or it's something altogether different.
Yeah,
I mean, I probably, the way, just kind of like skating by and just doing it this way. It wouldn't be a hard thing to keep it going forever until there is no more.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily something that I think that's going to be like super successful, going forward. There's only room for so much. And then you have to be able to like take the proper advantage of it. Again, online sales, getting your stuff out there, a reason for people to have to come. Other than just like your books, if you don't offer like shipping, especially right now. And I guess it depends on your area. But they say Contra Costa County out here isn't doing so good when it comes to like the COVID right now.
Really?
And I thought they were like, we were one of, this area out here was like one of the better areas.
Contra Costa's, that includes Berkeley?
That's
or
Alameda,
is that Oakland?
I think it's Alameda. I forget how it works, but
the island?
Isn't Berkeley Alameda County?
Oh, Alameda County.
No,
I'm thinking of Alameda. Isn't there an island called Alameda?
No, you're thinking of
Albany,
Treasure Island.
No, there's an island over in Oakland.
You're thinking of
whatever. Doesn't matter.
That place with the bridge. Yes, I do know what you're talking about.
Doesn't matter.
Contra Costa is Richmond. There you
go.
go.
Okay. Well, that makes a little more sense then, because Richmond's still, Bay Area poor, right?
Yeah, I still thought almost all the surrounding areas were doing pretty good.
300,000.
So, I don't know.
You can't even get a house in Richmond now.
You can't even get a house in Richmond.
And you don't want to. You don't want to live next to all those refineries. Alameda is the island. Okay. Yeah, that's where my mechanic was when I lived out there.
Here we go. I live in Contra Costa County. Even go to the school of college is not a great place, to be honest. Yeah, I bet. I don't know. You just got to make what you have in front of you the best thing it can possibly be.
How do you do that?
What you have to do, and I've learned this from Slaughterhouse-5, and that's the main reason why I have ATN here. What you want to do is, even at the most horrible moment, you want to experience the best moment within that time.
Yeah, don't even pay attention to the bad stuff.
Don't even pay attention to the bad stuff. So Billy Pilgrim's being carted, through Germany. And it's all war.
I get it.
And people are dead. And this horse that they're on, he doesn't even know, it's like bleeding to death for them.
It's all mangled.
It's kind of like this. He's just kind of sitting back, looking at the sky, and just kind of like reflecting in that moment. And it's one of his happiest moments And it's so crazy in this
Well,
whole
he's
story where there's so much
no
fucking
longer a
shit going on.
prisoner, all sorts
He's
of stuff.
not. Yeah.
So that's why he doesn't interact, by the way, is because it's all the negative stuff. He doesn't want to interact with it. So like the
Facebook.
guy tapping on his window that he didn't want to interact with, he's got the blinders on, man. He's only looking at the good stuff.
Yes, which is good and bad. You can do the Substack route where you only get the conversation with the people that you like.
Yeah.
Or you can just ignore everything altogether.
Yeah.
Or you can engage in the cesspool that is all that other stuff.
There's no point in engaging in that nonsense, man. Like
Living
it's good
life
to have
with blinders on.
No, it's good to have interactions with other human beings. I think it's good to have interactions with people that disagree with you, but I don't think you have to delve into the cesspit to get better at thinking and have a good life. I don't think you have to do that. I think that's like a recipe for misery, personally.
That's right.
It is for me. I can't look at that stuff. It makes me crazy.
Sometimes I was talking to Jill yesterday about it, and the thing that got me was that this person's getting such accolades for being such a great performer.
Who?
Doesn't matter.
Are we talking
Someone
about
dead? Someone dead.
The guy that just died, Norm
No.
Macdonald?
No.
Okay.
It could be Norm Macdonald though, and Norm Macdonald wasn't that good a comedian. Maybe.
Nah, he wasn't.
Maybe I think that.
He was just
maybe not a legend.
No.
Everybody's calling him a legend though.
Nah, he wasn't.
I'm like, we have to have some standards.
We threw those away years ago, dude. That's the participation trophy.
We have to have some standards when we're ranking these people, especially when our people that are ranking them are our betters, people in the news. Look, I mean, Siskel and Ebert were hard asses, but at least they tried from a point of like they cared about the art. They weren't necessarily being bought off.
They were actually reviewers from newspapers, rival newspapers.
Right, rival news. I mean, I don't know if maybe they were bought off, but they were at least pretending better than a lot of people. I mean, when you're watching an entertainment review of something, it probably is something to shill. They're just shilling.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going with it. I'm just saying that, we have to have some real, conversation about things that we do and don't like. And we have to be able to trust the people that are talking about these things. And when they're going out and they're just spouting those things, it's really hard to believe them and everybody else. Even if the person that's saying it is working for the company and we know they're a shill.
Yeah.
When they are supposed to be the person that we're supposed to listen to and believe, and they don't do that, it is going to ultimately hurt your product. Whether you're the president of a comic book company or an announcer of a football team or a baseball team, I should keep it with the Giants, or an announcer.
You should definitely, mix your metaphors, right?
Yeah. You're the standard bearer for your team, and you're talking smack about other people, and it's just a bald-faced lie. You're not bringing any facts into it. It's just feelings. And that's what we really have to get away from. And I just want the people that are out there that are again our betters.
Who do you think
better?
Who do you think actually fits that category though? Like most of the people on TV are just people.
They always talked about Walter Cronkite, as being this very trusted news source and all this other stuff. Was he anything more than just a puppet? Talking about the news. Maybe he did know where countries were on the map, but I don't know. But then of course you got your Anderson Coopers and all the other people and especially on a CNN, because it's supposed to be a news network. Yeah. More than when Fox News says they're a news network, and MSNBC just has news in the end, part of it, but it's got all these other letters that don't mean it.
Do you trust any source of information coming to you right now?
It's really hard to, even in my entertainment news. It's just to get clicks, anybody will say anything to get you to click onto it.
Yeah.
And it's way more easy to just read the headline because I'm not going to get any good factual stuff from that stuff on the inside anyway.
Or grammar.
Probably behind a paywall. And you got to really consider the source. If you're going to IGN to get a comic book review, you're a freaking fool.
Yeah.
And if you're going to a comic site for politics, you're a freaking fool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And if you're going for video games from Mother Jones, you're a fool. You know. And
also, yes.
why are you listening to those people talk about something you don't like? You know, this was the best part. You know, I'm gonna keep it again with wrestling. Billy and Chuck were a gay couple that were going to get gay married on SmackDown, and Glad ran with that and was very happy, and they let everybody know about it.
Yeah.
And then the swerve came.
Didn't happen, did it?
Oh my God, those straight guys weren't actually gay, and they didn't get gay married. And then Glad's got all this egg in their face, and they couldn't believe that wrestling would swerve anybody. That's what wrestling is. It's all about swerving.
I mean, I'm aware of this. I don't watch it. I am aware of this.
You fools. And it's like that for anybody. When anybody from like the mainstream goes and like talks about comic books, it's a joke.
Yeah.
You know, when anybody from the mainstream goes and talks about wrestling, it's a joke. When anybody outside, there are people that have been outside of things, that have had different points of views, and it has been good for the sport. But at the same time fought, not unlike the X-Men are fought by humans because they're the next race of evolution.
Right.
The next race of baseball was Bill James and Stratomatic and cyber data and all that other bullshit that I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
You know, statistical analysis that doesn't have anything to do with how a person looks in a baseball outfit, you know, that type of stuff.
Yep.
Analytics. And they use analytics in football now. They use it in hockey. They use it in everything. I'm assuming they even have it in cornhole. There's some sort of sabermetrics. Have you ever seen cornholing?
I know. What is this?
These people throw beanbags in a hole.
Oh, it's like a bar sport.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's on ESPN because they have nothing else on the weekend.
You know, I gotta say, like, games and sports are different, and that is a game. That is a game that people play when they're drunk.
No way, man. Let me tell you, they got different bags.
They call it cornholing?
They do.
Why? Why would they call it that?
We'll talk about cornhole in the next episode of Fantastic Comics Presents. Until then, everybody say good night to ATM. Thank you very much for being on the show. I really appreciate everybody showing up.
Yeah, me too.
Anybody that actually stuck around till the end, let me know what your favorite cornholing event is after the show.
Oh my God, please don't.
Just no porn, please.
Where do you go to cornhole?
Where do you go to cornhole?
Jeez. It's a personal question, isn't it?
And don't forget, go buy some comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.